From formation to taxation, covering inflation, temptation, high expectations, and that dreaded stagnation, we bring to you Hip Nation.
Hey, welcome. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Welcome to another episode of Hip Nation Podcast. My name is Sarah. And apparently, I hit record right at the right time because we're all cry laughing over here. This is going to be a fun one.
I think it'll be okay.
So, in case you haven't been on our website lately, you can check us out at graphicallyhip.com/hipnation. On there, you will find a little player where you can click play and listen to our podcast if you don't have the Spotify and the Apple Podcasts and all those things. And also, you'll find our weekly guests' book picks, where they're Amazon links. So if you want to purchase those books and you do it from our website, then we get a little kickback. Also, please give us a follow on whatever platform you hear us on. It helps us with our ratings, with our advertisers, with our sponsors, all those things. Not that we have any of them, but maybe one day we will. So follow, subscribe, and then if you're on Spotify, you can hit, I think there's like stars or something, and you can rate us 1 out of 5. So like, just don't give us a 1. That'd be cool. And then at the end of every episode, we have a link that you can click after the episode description that has a donate. So if you thought our podcast episode was awesome, donate us $1 and we'll save it up and one day buy some new equipment. So this epised is called You Guys Are Such Losers.
We're writing notes like we're in episode. I feel like more people will relate to that. Way to say you guys are such losers on anti-bullying day.
So we're recording this on Pink Shirt Day, but it's not going to come out until a couple more days. But anyway, not the point.
We're writing notes back and forth.
Yeah, my two guests here are writing notes like we're in grade school again. But that's okay.
Well, no, Jenny's trying to break down the words for me. Anyway, it's not happening.
She couldn't read my writing, so I had to spell it out.
You had to actually spell it out on paper.
And I don't know how to spell the word recommend, so I was like, Rico.
Okay, so this episode is called Creators in Business. And my two guests that I have here with me today are both also creators in business. So we all have that in common, among lots of other things.
Yes.
So I'm going to introduce the person sitting to my right, which is one of our favorite return guests. Jenny Papa.
Oh my gosh. I just keep coming back for more. I don't know what's going on here.
Well,
a wise old woman once told me I had a face for radio, so I'm just going to keep following my mom's advice on that one.
You know what? I get so many people message me after episodes that you're on, and they're like, it was so much fun. It was bright and cheery.
You know what makes it fun? You know why?
She's cracked a beer.
See, and it's not actually a morning episode that we're recording for once, which is kind of nice. I feel okay with drinking at this time.
Yeah, it's not 9 a.m.
I have to
on a
hide
Saturday.
It normally. So it's nice, yeah.
All right, and across from me, we have a newbie to the show, although I don't know why it's taken this long. It should have been a long time ago.
Saving the flavor for later on.
What did you
The flavor saver.
Yeah, see.
Saving the best for last.
That's right, but it's not technically last, though.
That's true.
No. Yeah.
Last out of the two of you.
So true.
Our other guest is Lucy Anderson, who is Jenny's fiance. And partner in business and all the things. So tell us about you, Lucy.
My name is Lucy.
Or to some of us.
Yeah,
Lucifer.
They like to call me Lucifer. This is not a name that's going to catch on, though. Okay,
but it has we've been together
for
how many years now? Like
too long. Anyway, I'm from England, hence the accent.
Oh, you're speaking very American right now.
Am
You couldn't hear the accent in those two
Okay,
sentences.
well, I'll be more Yorkshire then, shall I?
Oh, please use some of your slang terms.
No, not right now.
You know, the first time that
Are you being sarcastic?
no, she has slang. It's a Yorkshire thing. Like there's actual
it's an
slang where
actual
they. I remember one of the
language.
first times we hung out together, and she said we were going tit bar, and I was like, "That sounds like a great bar. Let's go."
What
And
I
what it-
actually said was, we're going to bar.
which sounds like we're going to a great bar. And really, it's just that she's lazy and was saying we're going to the bar, but they just combine it.
We don't say a lot of we don't give the full words. We'll say we're going to bar, so we don't say to the bar.
So we got
We'll
to the
cut
bar.
out half of the
all
word.
the time that you've saved by cutting out that one syllable word.
It's not about time saving,
Oh,
okay?
what is it about? Laziness.
It really is, but imagine my disappointment when we got tit bar and it wasn't a tit bar.
Anyway,
There wasn't a lot of tit there.
there wasn't. I am the owner and artist of Beauty and the Blade here in Penticton. So I do everything beauty related, and eyebrows is my thing. It's my jam.
That's her jam-a-lamb.
It is.
It really is. She's
really good
I'm
at
a
it,
little
too.
obsessed with them, I'm going to say. Not a little, a lot. I'm browsing right now, Sarah.
I know, because every time around you, I feel like you're judging me.
I am.
And you're not even like
I
silently
am.
doing it. You're staring at being like,
I am.
what is wrong with
The
you?
amount of times I've had people say, like, I'm going to do my brows before I come over because
Yeah.
I know Lucy's going to be looking at them.
Yeah.
And that's what she calls it, browsing, because
Yeah.
she'll sit there. And I think sometimes she's looking at me in like a loving way.
No.
And I'm like,
I'm not.
we're having a moment right now. And she's like, really, like she's parting the hairs in my brows with her fingers and checking her strokes and color
that's
and everything and
hilarious.
whether I'm ready for a touch up. So
Hey, it's my job.
she's browsing
Absolutely.
all the time. So anybody who comes over,
I'm judging you
just so you know.
on your eyebrows.
Yeah.
Sarah,
I know.
really badly right now.
I know. We have to come. I have to come and see you.
Yes, you do.
I'll book my appointment after my tattoo.
My
with
door is
Jenny.
always open.
We do people at the same time at the studio too. We've been known to double team.
Yeah.
So we.
I don't know how I feel about two separate needles in me at the same time.
Right, yeah.
But I don't
We
know.
can give it a shot.
I'm-
We could do
I'm
one
a
brow
pain
and then
fucking
just see what
warrior.
happens.
just start and see.
I feel like I would flinch like in the wrong way because
Because
Jenny's attacking my leg, and I'd be like, and
Yeah.
then you'd be on my eyebrow,
And
being like,
you'd have a third eyebrow.
How
piercing.
cool would it be though to say that
Give her
like
a third brow? I
both
know.
Jenny and Lucy did me at the same time?
all right, let's do it.
Get
I
her
don't
down.
even know what
Let's
we're
go.
talking about anymore.
Anyway,
Okay, so we're going to talk about being a creator, or some people call them a creative,
Yes.
in business. So let's get right into her.
let's. Oh, been there, done that. Have we mentioned that she's my
Nice.
fiance yet?
Yeah, well, I did. I did.
Okay, good.
You're going to get the death stare so many times
Oh,
in
I
this episode.
know.
You know that,
Already
right?
during
Can
sound
you
check,
feel
I
my
got a
eyes
few-
in your head? Can you? Can you feel it? Yeah.
You guys are in for a good show today.
Yeah.
Um,
We're your first couple.
yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Are we?
This is just full
Wow.
of firsts.
Yeah. Right?
Lucy's first couple, first. What the hell are you drinking?
Oh,
Michelob
these are.
Ultras?
We actually call these the lesbian lager.
Michelob.
It's more of a lesbian
Oh.
lager. They go down nice.
lesbian lager.
Jenny calls them a lesbian lager, yeah. 90 calories, 3
They're
grams of
very
carbs.
aptly shaped too.
They are.
They
They're
are.
very dainty for a lady.
Did you say 3 grams of crabs?
Carbs.
Carbs. It's
This-
the accent, right?
It's the language barrier. I apologize to all of the
Language
listeners because there is
sound
going
like
to be
a
an issue
stewardess right
now.
I always say to her, like, you invented the language, your people did, so stop trying to change it all the time.
I enjoy my accent. Thank you very much.
Everybody enjoys your accent.
I know. Everybody does.
There
Everybody
is-
I feel like she's losing it, though. Like, she's been, how long have you been
Stop.
in
I have
Penticton?
lived
How long
here
have you been
6 years.
6 years now. You've
And
lived in
all
Canada.
I have to compare, all I have is you. So
You know, I'm considering trading you in for a younger Kiwi or Australian,
No, you're
just
not.
because you're losing the
she is.
accent a
I
little bit.
could go for a younger American, maybe even.
Okay, no, you didn't. How many
Wow.
American listeners
You
do you
went
have?
there.
I don't want to offend anybody here, but
There's a few.
You went there, so I went there.
okay. Well,
Anyway,
moving on.
I just have to say though, there are some British accents that aren't
Not very
dainty
nice.
and nice.
They're not. That's right. The Birmingham accent is quite particular.
Is that a nice way of
Cockney,
saying
though.
it?
Do you know what Cockney is kind of cool?
What's
Well,
called?
it's the southern accent.
Can you do all the different accents?
Oh, that's for another episode.
Okay.
She's like a puppet, hey? She's just like a little
You only have
sideshow.
to
Like,
travel-
let's give her some drinks and make her perform.
You only have to travel like 10 minutes and you're in a new accent.
Can you just
in
do us a
England, though.
favor and say a couple of things real quick? Can you say aluminum?
Aluminium.
No.
Yes.
You're putting extra letters
I'm
in
not.
that word.
It's how we made the word.
How
So it's
about
how-
Subaru?
Subaru? We say Subaru. We
Oh.
don't say Subaru. We say Subaru.
Right. Okay. And this is the one that we fight about the most is I call it Nike, which most people do.
Everyone.
But
Nike.
No,
she calls
it's
it
not
Nike.
Nike.
Here's my
But she's
point.
got a point. Listen to this.
Do you call a bike a bikey?
Okay. No.
That is a valid point, and that's when I shut my mouth because I couldn't
but
think of a comeback. for
Say
that.
moon.
Moon,
Now say book.
book,
Two different things, but they're spelled the
Right.
same.
moon,
Right?
book. I don't know.
It's still Nike.
Book. I'm going to call it a book.
Gross set of balls, Jenny.
Yeah.
Lucy. For frick's
No, you
sake,
can
I did
tell
it
You
her.
on
know
air.
what?
I freaking did it on air.
Everybody calls us the opposite names
Why
all
is
the
that?
time.
We
And
still
I think,
answer to
I
it,
honestly
though.
think
Why?
that, I think it's because they just don't know which one's which sometimes, and they just are so used to saying Jenny and Lucy because we're usually just one person. But we've even gone further now. Like our hashtag, we're supposed to be getting married. Fuck, this is our
In
third
June.
wedding date now. What is it? It's in June?
Yes, it's in June.
Let me
Be
know.
there or be
I'll try
square.
to be there. I'm just going to show up and be the arm candy. But our hashtag is juicy. So we just combined it even more now.
love
So
it.
now it's just juicy without like the I.
We answer to each other's names, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of reminds me of like, like when your mom or your grandma
Yeah.
would go down the list of your siblings' names and be like,
My mom would hit the cat before she'd hit my name for
Yeah.
Christ's sake. Like,
Yeah.
like her ex-husband and like 3 ex-boyfriends. And then it was my name.
but if that tells you anything about how I feel about it, it should be a term of endearment, right?
That's
Because
right.
It's not like I'm
I took it
trying
that
to
way.
offend you.
No.
I just-
Fuck, I'm never offended by you.
Yeah, and you definitely
Take
are
a lot to
never
offend
offended.
Jenny.
Oh.
Okay, let's get back into her.
Sorry.
Yeah.
20-minute intro.
So it's entertaining though. Okay. Tell me,
Are you looking at me?
both of you,
Okay.
but take turns because
Okay.
don't fucking talk over
Well,
each other.
she-
We
will
can't
just
do it at the
continue
same
to talk
time.
over me.
We
See,
never
just
do it
like
at the same
that.
time. We always have to take turns. It's
Okay,
We need a
squirrels.
buzzer.
We need
That's what we
squirrels.
need. We
We
need a
a that's
buzzer.
what she said button.
Okay. You go. Tell me. No.
What are your biggest struggles being a creative in business?
mine goes right back to my imposter syndrome. Definitely my entire business as a photographer. And well, no, let's just go with the photographer side. Is everything I do is based on other people's opinion and my client's opinion and what they want versus what I think looks right. We have different opinions sometimes. So
Oh, that's a
That's right.
good one.
yeah. Tattoos as well. Like when I do my tattoos, I don't like them to look a certain way. And I have a
Yep.
certain style that I do. And sometimes it's hard to say that
Like
I'm
a
not the
greasy
artist.
old meatloaf.
For anybody that wants to know about the greasy old meatloaf, maybe we should clarify that one.
Should we?
So
we leave
I've had a client recently who asked me to do a tattoo of a meatloaf, as a tribute to Meatloaf's passing, the artist, the musician. But she wants it as an actual meatloaf, like the food.
I'm dying. I'm literally
So
dying.
that person is actually sitting to my left. It's Sarah, and she's coming in tomorrow for a greasy old meatloaf tattoo. So I think that's probably the challenge when people. When I'm a
you
creative
never-
and people ask me to do something, I gotta go, are you sure you want that on you forever?
You never told me to fuck off, so I thought it was okay.
So please, can I put that on you forever? I would rather put a greasy meatloaf, though, on your body than say, like, your significant other's name.
Yeah,
because
for
that's just
sure.
bad luck, right?
For sure. At
But
least
we
this
already
is
know that
funny,
meatloaf's
right?
gone, so it's not like he's going to
Yeah.
die again.
And I don't want his ugly, sweaty face on
Why
me.
not?
I just
Hey,
wanted a
She's
fun...
got Danny DeVito on hers.
Oh,
Why would you
okay.
not want
Here
someone's
we go.
sweaty face on your
That's true.
for
That's
your
true.
other half to see more than you would see?
You know, I do have a tattoo of Danny DeVito on my hip, and that goes back to my best friend, who we both have matching Danny's, and it's a story.
It's a story. It's a story for
But
another
there's
day.
sometimes where Lucy and I will be together, and she'll be like, "Get that fucking thing off me," and I think she's talking about like my leg that's just over her, but really she means Danny. Like, it's hard not to take offense to that, right?
It's me that's got to see it every day. Babe.
I know.
It's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't think about that,
I
did
think
ya?
about that too. When somebody asks me for a tattoo, that I'm like, you sure you want that? And then I go, wait a minute. The artist that did my Danny DeVito, he just went with it. So,
Yeah.
and my tattoo of Danny DeVito is right on par with your greasy meatloaf. So,
Well, and you kind of just have to be like, okay, Lucy, like
Yeah.
this is my body. You
Yeah.
need to
Yeah.
take a step back. And no offense, because I love you, Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
back the
it's
fuck
me
off.
who's got to fucking see it every day. So,
We're like, this is the fourth time she's said it now.
showers together have stopped. You know,
Yeah.
that was a honeymoon phase back in the day.
Yeah. But no.
So that's my struggle, is just I guess as a creative is my what I consider my expert opinion differs from other people's, right?
Yeah.
So
That's a tough one, especially in my industry too, because
sure.
I'm essentially tattooing people's faces.
Mm-hmm.
So creative outlooks on things can look very, very different. Like someone might come in that wants a Kim Kardashian eyebrow, but doesn't have a single brow hair on their face. And it's like, that's not possible. Let's start with expectation here. So it's just figuring out a balance. But for me, like, I definitely deal with imposter syndrome too. Like,
Do you
that's
really?
Do you? 100%. Yeah.
Shit, why didn't you have
the
her on
fuck?
too?
I don't really
6
talk
years into
about
a
it, though.
relationship, and I'm just finding this out now.
It's huge in
I know. Thanks. Sarah's rubbing my shoulder right now. I'm just gonna
as a
cry.
cosmetic tattoo artist. You're there to make someone feel better about the way that they look, right? And I know that I can do it, but like I also look at myself compared to artists that have been in the game for longer than me, and I'm like, their work is so much better than mine, and you want to be like that person. And imposter syndrome is a big thing in the permanent makeup world, like a really big thing.
For sure.
Like, I love what I do and I love my craft and I know I'm good at it, but I always compare myself to other people. Always.
I think the really cool thing about you, just knowing and seeing your journey through becoming such a professional and so good at what you do, is seeing, I guess, that would be your imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
It's just watching how much training you've done,
Yeah.
because you didn't just stop with the first person that trained
No.
you. You've trained with several other artists who
Yeah.
are super well respected.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like, you are a firm believer, and I've seen this a million times with you, is that once you stop learning, what's the point?
What's the
like, you are
point? Yeah.
continuously learning all the time. She's taking courses all the time. She's
Every
going
year
to
I
Vancouver.
take a new one.
Yeah.
Because I think, especially in what I do, trends change all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Everyone has different styles, techniques, and approaches to doing stuff. So my initial course that I took like 3 years ago, I really don't follow much that I was trained in the very, very beginning. Like, I've just picked up things along the way from other artists, and now it's just a blend of like all these different techniques that I do. So when I look at my work from the very, very beginning, it's way different to how I am now.
Yeah.
And as a creative, it should be.
Yeah.
We should all have a portfolio to
Definitely.
look back on in the
Yeah.
beginning and want to vomit.
I
Oh,
big
fuck.
time do.
I just
yeah.
want to remove like all my Instagram
Yeah.
from
It's
back in the
hard
day,
though, but
it's
it's
cool.
where you have to remember that that's where you started.
Yeah,
though. And
that's your
sometimes I'm
roots.
like, you know what? I'm fine with that. Like, I never delete any of my old work because I'm like, no, that's where I started from. And I still had like a massive client base. Like, people still trusted me with their faces, and that was fine. Like, I was
People are
never
coming
bad.
from all
I
over
just,
the place to come and see you
I'm
now.
a lot better now. Like, that's the thing. Like, I've grown. I am not an artist in any other way other than makeup.
I actually have the tattoos to prove that, because
Like,
she did do a couple
I
tiny
cannot,
tattoos.
like, I can't do, like, give me pen and paper. Like, look, I just tried to draw, like, a leaf. Look what happened. Like, it's not really a leaf.
That actually
Okay,
looks
but
like
you're not even really trying.
no,
though.
but I don't.
I've seen you do costume makeup on your face.
Yeah,
Oh,
makeup.
Okay, see, that's an artist right
you
there.
could
You're
take a
you're an
paintbrush
artist.
and paint on a canvas
makeup
and
but
make it look
pen
awesome.
to paper, I cannot.
Okay, maybe not pen, but paint. You
No,
could paint like
I
a
don't
bitch.
know.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
could.
know.
We're going to a paint night.
Oh,
We're
a
going to
paint
paint
night.
night.
We haven't
Yeah.
done that yet together.
Yeah, let's do it.
We've done bingo and trivia. Let's do
let's do it.
paint.
I bet you fucking rock it. Seriously, you know, like the pressure of a brush and how it
And
feels.
color theory. Color theory
And a
is huge.
canvas is very similar to a face.
Okay, I'm down for paint night.
Her makeup is incredible.
It's
that
unreal.
She does. It's so crazy. And that's mostly self-taught. The only reason you took that one makeup course
Well, I
was...
thought that I needed the certificate here to do it as a job because for everything here you need like certifications for stuff.
I remember how
so-
annoyed you were with that when you first came
Well,
to
I
Canada
was,
because you were
because-
like, I have so much experience in this field, and this field, but I don't have an actual certificate that says my name on it and that I've completed this course.
It was for
And
like
that was super
admin,
frustrating.
right? And
Yeah.
for me, I was like, I've done that for 15 years and now I have to take a course in it. Like, no. So for me, for makeup, that's the only reason why I did it. But I went to school and I was basically teaching the teacher.
Oh, yeah, you were.
And it was like, this is really frustrating. I've just spent all this money and now I'm basically here assisting.
Yeah.
That must have actually felt kind of cool, though.
It was, but it was annoying at the same time because it was in Kelowna. It was like one night a week for like however many weeks. And then
having
I
to
was
get
like,
models to come in and blah, blah, blah.
so it was really
Yeah.
annoying. And at the end of it, I had a certificate that really didn't mean anything here. Like, I didn't realize that I didn't need it. But I like it was good to just have it, right? But like in terms of like brows and things like that, yes. Like obviously I needed like training for that. But for makeup
There's
artistry,
a lot
no,
of
it's just
online
like,
courses though to do brows, and that's what's
Unfortunately,
freaking
yeah.
scary out there. Is that like people are coming out of there doing McDonald's arches on people's faces,
What?
and
Yes.
Lucy did get into doing removal. Remember, you were doing removal for a while,
Yeah.
and now it's just it was just crazy how many people you came to get things fixed.
Yeah.
And so now she doesn't do the removal process because
I send them elsewhere now and then they come back to me. A different form of removal though.
Yeah.
I used to do saline. Anyway, different story. But yeah, it's just a different look on things. And I think it's really important to remember where you started. Like huge.
it is,
agree.
and for people to do their research before they
Yeah.
and I said to Lucy so many times, like, you know, there's this person is advertising brows out there and that they do brows and they're an artist, but they've only had an online course, so you know they're posting other people's work and stuff like that, and I'm like, Lucy, are you gonna say something, or like what are we gonna do here, because this person is about to do some really shitty brows? And Lucy's like, no, like I don't want the clients who aren't gonna do their research, because that means when they leave my studio they're not gonna take care of their brows. Like I
Yeah.
want somebody who's invested in this as much as I am. So it's
Most of my clients have stalked me on Instagram for a long time before they book. And I prefer that because I know they're ready and they know my style, they know what I do. And they come in and they're confident. Like if I have someone who really doesn't know my work, and then they ask me to show pictures of my work when they come into the studio, it's fine. I can do that, but I prefer them to come in with an expectation that this is what they're going to get, not like I have no idea what your style of brow is. Like this, I don't want this to be all about brows, but there's so many different styles. There's people that's like specifically work on like a fluffy brow style. That's their style of brow. That's not my style. So when you look on my page, everything's quite neat and sleek, and like that's how I like the brows to look. I don't like them to look like a jungle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but for some people, that's their style of brow, and that's totally fine. But it's not mine. So if I have someone come in that they want that specific brow, I'll send them somewhere else because it's not my creative side. I don't want to do that. Like I want to do the style of brow that I want to do,
and that's why they're
gonna
coming
fit
to you,
best
right?
to
So
you.
do your research.
Yeah.
And make sure that I'm the artist for you,
Yeah.
because when they come in and they ask for that and you say, sorry, I don't do that,
Yeah,
it's frustrating because they've used your time up, right?
It is. Yes.
Well, and once you get to a certain point in your business,
You can say no.
you
to
can
people.
say no. And we talked about that on our
That
episode.
is
being-
freaky.
That's
for
taken me a long
Julie,
time,
right?
yeah.
Julie doesn't have anybody to refer
Yeah.
people to.
Yeah.
She's the only one. Well, there's neighboring towns that do, but
Yeah. Yeah.
imagine having nobody
Yeah.
where you can send somebody that doesn't suit your style.
Definitely. yeah.
Totally.
It's a tough one, definitely. And I'm really particular at who I'll refer out to. But yeah, it's just one of those things, right? Like
It's so hard to send people away.
it's really hard to send people away. You're
Good at it though. Like
I
I'm
am
proud of
now.
you. You
I'm
put your foot
very-
down. I remember when you first started, it was like I'll take
well,
on
when you
people.
first start, you take on everyone, one, for experience, because you feel like you need the experience of every client.
Yep.
And two, you need the money in the beginning. Like
Yep.
it sounds bad, but you do. Like you need the money. And sometimes, especially in the beginning when you start out, like there's some really, really challenging people out there that you just, unless you're an experienced artist, you just shouldn't be working on.
Yeah.
Like,
but
you
some
just
people,
shouldn't.
some artists do,
And that's the thing. And I can hold my hands up and say that I've definitely worked on people in the beginning that were too challenging for me. And now it's like, okay, now I look back and I'm like, I wish that I'd have had a bit more experience before I took that client on, you know.
But on the other hand, sometimes you need to really step out of your comfort zone to grow and know
And
what you're
I
made out of.
definitely
And I
have.
think that some of those people that you've dealt with have made you a better artist now, for sure.
I have no problem now saying no to people. Like no problem at all.
And I think in what I do, a lot of times I have people ask me to design a certain style of logo, which I know is not my style, but I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
I actually haven't tried doing
Yeah.
that before. I've
Yeah.
just seen it and don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I still don't like it, then I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? But I got to
Yeah.
try it at least once
Yeah.
Exactly.
before I turn away another one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then you know what to accept in the future. Like I've always said, if it feels like I'm pushing a rock up a hill, I know for next time that I'm not going to take that client
Yeah.
on or that type of client or whatever. Right? Like,
Absolutely.
like weddings. Fuck
Right.
weddings.
Right. Yeah.
I'll only take on family and friends for weddings and like close friends.
Okay.
That we'll
well,
still
I'm
be
glad
friends
that I've
after.
tagged you in all the wedding posts on Facebook, and that's cool. Just kidding.
I might know
haven't
the
done that for
person.
a
It's
while.
fine. I might be related to them. We'll see.
You do know a lot of people. And I also find for myself, being a creative in business is the creative blocks.
Yeah.
Like the times where I sit down at my computer
Yeah.
and I have to design something for someone and I'm
Yeah.
just like, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Mostly because there's a million other business related
Yeah.
things on my mind.
Yeah.
But like,
So what do you do
What
to get
is-
over that? Like, how do you
take
get over
a break,
Yeah.
shoot a reel, like do
Yeah.
something that isn't my regular creative.
Yeah.
I used to actually go to paint night by myself
Really?
because I had no friends that would come with me.
Oh, fuck.
So I would. This was a while ago.
Yeah.
So I would just
well, you
go
got
to
lots
like
of friends now.
paint. Yeah, I do. I didn't have any friends back then. But anyway, it was just a different creative outlet.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes you just get tired
Yeah.
of being creative, doing the thing
Yeah.
you do every day, all day.
Yeah.
You just need a different thing to do.
Oh, for sure. Christmas, I think I picked up my camera like once over like a course of like 2 weeks, and I just left it in the closet and said like, we're in a fight right now and I'll talk to you later. We're in a fight.
It's good to take a break, I think. Because then you
Yes.
come back with a fresh mind and new eyes on it as well. Like when you've been looking at something for so long. And I'll do this again with brows. Like I'll be with a client mapping their brows out and it just won't be happening. And I'm like, why is this not happening? Why? And then you take a step back and sometimes, and I've done this before, back in the very beginning, I would say it's just not happening today. I'm really sorry, but we're going to have to like rain check. And then they come back in on another day, and I've done it on the first like go.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's funny to watch because you like the mapping process of doing someone's brows
huge.
sometimes takes just as long as you going in with
Absolutely.
and doing the actual brows. The
It can
mapping
take 10 minutes or it can take an hour. I've mapped someone for 2 hours before and then sent them home. Like if someone, and that's the thing, like if it's not working or if I think that I've done something and it looks great, but then the client is like, oh, this, that, and the other, and then it's picking at them, right? But it's on someone's face, so
Yeah.
I get
Right.
it.
Well, and I've seen you say to somebody, you don't fully trust in me right
Yeah.
now, and you don't have the confidence in me, which is going to
Yeah.
make me not be confident while I'm doing your brows.
And then I send them
And then
home.
she sends them home. And it's kind of cool to see, like, Lucy
I don't
Lucy
have-
knows her boundaries,
Yeah.
100%. And she'll say to them, yeah, it's not going to happen because you don't look confident right now in what I'm doing. And that'll make me not feel
Yeah.
confident. So she'll just say it's not.
And then do they usually come back?
Yeah, they do, but it just takes time. Like I had that girl that came all the way from, was it Nelson or somewhere she'd come? I can't even remember.
I
It
think
was a
it was the
long time. But
Kootenays.
she travelled. She'd taken time off work. She was staying in a hotel for a couple of nights, and she travelled in so that she could get me to do her brows. And I'd done them, and again, like I'd mapped her for a long time, but she had super asymmetrical a face that was really asymmetrical. Her brows were just like one was in Switzerland, one was in like Germany. Do you know what I mean? Like different places of the world.
Are they close
So
to
it's
each
just
other?
like,
I don't fucking know. I do not know geography.
but
Fuck, I used to be a travel agent. I should know.
Oh shit! You don't know that?
Fuck. Bring off. Let's get
Right
it.
on.
Let's move on.
Right
Back to
on.
okay,
Lucy.
one was in Calgary, one was in BC. Okay, like, and there's
Okay.
only so much that I can do.
I would have said fucking Newfoundland. I
Be like
PEI.
Newfoundland
I just
and
said
fucking
IP.
England, right? Like
The brows were
different
not
sides
together.
Of the planet. Okay,
But
brother and sister,
brother
not
and sister,
twins.
exactly.
Yeah.
there you go.
But they weren't. When she had an unrealistic expectation, and I was trying to bring her down to earth based on what her natural brow was doing and what I could actually give to her to make it look better. But you were there also
Oh
with
God,
me.
Lucy
And
had the patience of a freaking saint
I-
and like used the best language possible, because I would have been like, "Fuck you! This is my professional opinion. Beat it, kick rocks."
When
and
someone
Lucy
wants-
was just like, "I hear what you're saying. I understand that you've done this and you've made these sacrifices to be here, but like,
I just
Fuck, you're a
she
champ.
was with me for 2 hours, and I just I knew about an hour in that I wasn't going to do that appointment, but she didn't want to let go.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was like, I get where you're coming from, but this is not happening today, and like you don't trust what I'm about to do on your face, and if I do this and it's permanent and you leave and you're not happy, there's nothing I can do about it. But this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm prepared to do, and if you are not on the same page as me, it's not happening. And I just kept saying it's not. I'd put all of my tools down and I was just talking to her, and I was like, it's not happening. And she kept saying, but it's okay, I think I like them now. And I was like, no.
you can't think
There's
about
no
that
think
shit.
about
It's on your
this, like, it's
freaking
done.
face, dude."
So, and that's fine. Like, and I sent her home, and she was pissed at me, but like, I'd rather you be annoyed at me when you leave than like crying for the next week because you don't like.
Well,
what-
not even a week. It's for the next, 5 to
Well,
7
the
years. It
worst
could
bit
be,
is
right?
the
Like, so
week.
you're pissed at me for a
But
couple
yeah.
days, but
Yeah. But yeah, so there's just boundaries, and that's a huge thing. But I now I'm far enough in the game that I'm fine with sending you home. I don't care where you've come from. Like, if we're not on the same page, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So
well, and I think there's some people that come in and they want you to do the old school sperm brows,
Yep.
where it's party in the front, business in the back, there, right? Or like
Case in point.
no, you just don't have any eyebrows.
I know,
Sarah.
it's true.
or like the ones that want the Cruella de Vil that's
Yeah.
like straight up to the forehead,
Yeah.
right? Like that's not your style. And if they come in
You
and that's
have
what they
to-
want, whether they've traveled from
You have to
Timbuktu
remember
or whatever, you're
when-
going to say that's not my style. So do your freaking
But when
research.
someone leaves my studio, my work is on their face.
Yeah.
So if you're walking around with that style of brow and it looks terrible, you think it looks great, but I know it looks like shit. You've got people walking around with that work on the face and like, oh, where did you get your eyebrows
That's kind of
done?
what we're
Like,
currently going through right
it's
now.
Beauty and the Blade. Oh, I'm not going to go there then, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's not my style of brow, so I'm not going to do it.
I'm going
So,
through removal at the moment because I was Lucy's
very
very first client.
first client.
And so her style has obviously changed since then. And people ask me all the time, like, where did you get your brows done? And I'm like, Beauty and the Blade. Love my fiance. Right on.
Oh.
Support her no matter what.
Yeah.
Even if my brows look a little fucking weird.
Okay, they didn't look bad. I'm just going to put it out there.
But she's like, can you stop telling people that you got them done by me? Like, go get them removed and let's start over, because it's kind of false advertising now.
because
Got
it's
it.
been so long. Like, you got to think the first time you do anything, it's so different to like,
Yeah.
3-4 years later, right?
Yeah.
So like, not that I don't tell you to not tell people that you've had them done, but I just like, I'm like, don't advertise that, because that, look at her eyebrows right now. Like, that is not my work. She's
don't
drawn them in.
I think they look bad,
Okay,
though,
but
to be
they
fair.
could look better.
I'm not a good judge, but I think they look fine.
Thank you very
I
much.
really do.
They could look better.
But that's because
I'm a
what you do,
perfectionist.
right? You have to say that. You could
Yeah.
probably say that about your own eyebrows.
Actually,
Every
She's
brow
gone
could
through
look better.
removal too.
Oh.
We're
Yeah.
both going through removal at the moment. So.
yeah. But I just draw mine in every day. Anyway, besides the point.
But I know what you're saying, because when I'm with a new client or just at a client's business, or I'm talking to somebody at the mall. I don't go to the mall. I don't know, but like at a networking business thing or something, and they hand me their business card. The mall.
Can we get Cherry Lane to sponsor this somehow? We got a couple bucks.
Buckaroos, some Cherry Lane dollars. Anyway, if someone gives me their business card at like a networking event and I look at it and I'm like, I can't even take you seriously after seeing that card and that logo.
Yeah.
Right.
Imagine how you must feel when you see people with like McDonald's eyebrows.
It's really hard because we'll go out for like dinner.
Because I feel that way when I see people with McDonald's eyebrows. Imagine how you must feel.
I always want, like, if we have a server that comes over and they're asking me what I want for dinner and all I'm doing is looking
and
at
I'm always
their
like,
eyebrows.
Lucy, just accidentally drop a business card like it fell out of your pocket. Like, just drop one.
Sorry, it fell on the floor. Look,
Just
you should
leave
pick it up.
I do that all the time. I drop my business card like accidentally.
I mean, you winner.
That's like next
Pink Shirt Day, you're a winner.
Yeah, don't call me a loser on Pink Shirt Day. Jesus. What are you, my mom? Just kidding. It's more my dad.
Yeah, but it's hard in the beauty industry, I would imagine. And even in our industries, Jenny, because people, like for me, people are married to the logos that they have already, right? And they, you know, bless their hearts, probably had their 14-year-old nephew do it in Photoshop or something. Which,
or they did it themselves and they're damn proud.
And they're like, yeah, look what I've done. And art is so subjective, right? Like
it is.
But
so how do you have that
just
conversation?
show people, like, hey, like, would you? I have, and I don't do this anymore, but I have in the past definitely said, hey, like, would you mind if I just like showed you some different options of what your logo could look like?
Yeah, I like that.
You know, and if they say no, that's fine. But when I can clearly tell that somebody's made their logo in like Microsoft Paint, I have to say something. Like I'm like vibrating. I'm like, please.
And it's not coming from a bad place to put you down. It's coming
to
from
help
a
you.
place.
It is
and
to help,
I think that's what
right?
people got to remember is that.
Because if I think that, then I'm sure other people see that and they're like, how do I take you seriously?
Yeah.
Especially in business, right? Like you're representing not just you, but what you do for a living, how you put food on the table.
Yeah. That's where I struggle with the photography side of things is that like I want to help people and make it look better, but then I work with a lot of corporate and branding clients and business clients, and they want a specific look. Not that doesn't have anything to do with my brand. So our brands are two separate. So I'm going to do it for you based on your brand, but I'm never going to post it on my social media because it doesn't fit with my brand. But then I can't advertise because, right? Then there goes my ego, right? Like as an artist, your ego definitely comes into play. And there's a lot of people that I work with who are like, I want it in this style. And I'm like, well, fuck. I guess I'll do it. Because here I am,
right?
Just trying to be a small business owner.
Did you say that after you did my photos? And I was like, those are so on brand. You rocked it.
That was an accident. That was a happy accident when you were like, I would love. That's exactly what I had in mind, and I love when that happens. And you know what? Like it does happen 90% of the time, but there are some people
you're so
who
damn good at what you do.
Yeah. Well, let's move on.
Say
anyway,
thank you.
Next.
Say thank you right now.
Thank you right now.
Okay, you said it. That's all I care about. And it's on record and it's been recorded.
Well,
Jenny said thank you.
Thanks for the review too on Google. I really appreciate that.
Oh my gosh. She's
I've
growing leaps and bounds
I've
over
asked
here.
2 people now for reviews on Google. You know how
I'm
much I
so
hate
proud of
asking.
you.
Oh my God, I hate it so much.
See, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I did in the beginning too,
I
but
did
I'm
in the
with you
beginning,
now.
but the way that I do it is I send them an email after they've left, or it's an automated email, and it just says, usually I'll send them an email with the before and after photos, and I'm like, I'd love for you to share your experience so that others know, like.
You send them an email of their before and after? That's really cool.
And then they can make
That's
the
really
decision.
God, imagine
cool.
if I did that.
Like, here's your shitty Microsoft Paint versus what I did.
Holy fuck. I'd love for you to share it.
But I do, because I have maybe 70 reviews on Google now.
Could you imagine if I did that
That's
too?
awesome.
That's
Are they all
awesome.
5s?
Yeah,
5
they
stars?
are, yeah.
Nice.
Actually, yeah.
Let's
and
keep
you
that
do
up,
really
guys.
good with you're so good. Like you're just a Lucy of all trades.
But
because you do
I
that.
give them an aftercare pack that has loads of stuff in it, and in there I always put in a card that says thank you, and it's personalized to them, and inside the card is like a little gift thing for them, and it has like a loyalty card for them to come back, and then it also has the scan so that they can scan that goes straight to Google for the review page. So it's like a little business card.
Aftercare packs, like I've seen how much she spends on them, how much time she spends, and how much money she spends on them, and like I would never have thought that putting so much effort into something which seems so insignificant. It's actually, so many people have commented on her aftercare packages, and it takes you to the next level. It is. It's very.
The thing is, people are paying.
Not until you get your brows done.
I'm coming to get my fucking brows done, and I want the good lip shit in it too.
Yeah.
People are paying a premium amount for a luxury service, right? I'm not about to skimp out on, one, the aftercare products that I use, and two, I want it to be a personal experience for them. I want them to come back.
Can we talk about that, though, how it's a personal experience? Because another thing that I've seen her do, before each client comes in, Lucy hand writes a card to every single client. She's got a card that says, like, thank you or some bullshit.
Yeah. That's what. But you just missed the whole conversation that I just had.
It is personalized, and I'm saying how personalized it is because you just flew over that. But it literally is, because I get to see the behind the scenes.
I handwrite them, and I
see you
say,
handwrite
like,
the card every single.
I'll say, like, it says like, "Hey Sarah, thank you for like trusting me," or blah blah blah.
I want mine written in fucking gold.
No,
calligraphy.
You don't get one.
Calligraphy. Get your fucking calligraphy.
But it's important because that's the personal touch. But inside, like I say, all those things, and then inside I have like a little card that has the scan thing that says like, hey, like if you'd like to share this experience. So there's that they can scan, and then they also get an email like either that day or the day after that says like, we'd love for you to leave a review. So. And
did you just come up with this shit on your own? Or
yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking impressive, Lucy.
Because, thank you very much.
She's good.
Yeah.
Right?
There's multiple avenues. It's not, I would say, like, not every client leaves a review, like, at all. But, like, if you don't ask, you don't get, right? So, like, it prompts them to do that. I used to do, like, way back in the day, I'd be like, when I was really starting with my Google reviews, I would say, like...
On this podcast, we say back in the dizzy.
Back in the dizzy.
Oh, my God. With their accent, she did not sound more fucking...
I would be like, oh, you'll get $5 off your next service if you leave a review. But then I didn't want people to feel like they... had to do something because they're going to get money
bribing people
off.
for a review, right? Like,
but that was what a lot of other artists were doing at the time, and I was like, I don't like that. So then I was like, I want to put my own personal spin on it, which is what I did. So, but it works. Like it
works really well.
It does. Like clients are really, and sometimes I don't have to ask clients; they'll just go on and they just leave a review because they're so happy. Like, which is awesome.
There's a lot of tears in that studio. Like I've noticed for the last year that I've been working down there. Yeah, yeah. Oh fuck! What did I do? Jesus Christ. And it's not painful either because she uses like top of the line numbing cream.
That's right.
I've seen how much she spends on numbing cream. So, but yeah, the transformation that you give to people in, you know, their faces and their confidence. I think the confidence, and that's what we're always trying to push as a business together, is confidence is the sexiest thing a woman can wear.
That's right.
And there's people that come in who don't have that confidence and they leave there. Like the minute you hand them that mirror, it's a really cool thing. That's my favorite part when I'm working down there, is to see when Lucy does like the big reveal and people are like, oh my God, like thank you so much. It changes their face. It does.
So like, especially
especially over COVID, because for the last 2 years people have had to look at eyes and eyebrows, and that's a huge thing. And I think you're doing some pretty cool shit for people's confidence.
Thank you very much.
Well, I was going to ask you guys how you felt, what you felt were your advantages being a creative in business, and I think that's probably one major one for you. Actually, I think for all three of us. Mm-hmm. While we may suffer from imposter syndrome at varying levels, I think all three of us are very good at marketing ourselves and displaying the professionalism, even when we might not feel it inside.
Right.
And you, in particular, Lucy, are just the picture of confidence.
Thank you very much.
And I am absolutely shocked that you have any kind of imposter syndrome
big
at
time.
all.
You know,
I will spend hours after, like on an evening, going through my photos from the day that I've taken of clients and picking at every single thing, being like, I wish I'd done this. I wish I'd done that. Like the brows look great, but then I'll be like comparing to certain other artists, you know, and things like that. And it's just, I don't know. I've just always done it. I've always done it. So yeah, I guess for me, I always want to be the best of the best. Like it's like I haven't done until like I've made it, right? Like, so there's artists in the industry that are like huge, just like in any industry, right? But like I want to be on that level.
But you've been on par with them because you and I, like, you've done the Instagram takeovers for some pretty big, you know, with Hive Beauty, like just give them a quick shout out.
Yeah.
And with Yale, you know, we've done the Instagram takeover.
Yeah.
And these are some really well respected people in the brow industry, and they've asked you to come on and talk.
Yeah. But
which is
again,
really
like
freaking
when
cool.
Hive asked, I was like, oh my God, like I felt like an imposter. I was like, I feel I'm not good enough to do this.
Yeah.
And it was like a whole Instagram live takeover. And I was really nervous because we'd never done anything like that before. But yeah, I was like, I haven't been in the game long enough. Like I'm not good enough to do this. But
you can still find it on Hive, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And with Brows by Yale,
Yeah.
she's really cool. She's got a huge following, but it was cool to sit there and be able to talk with her on par and be able to keep up. Remember, we've talked about that before. That's when
Ever since you said that, that has
I kept
stuck
up
in my head.
Yeah, I kept up.
It's a big one, definitely. But no, I mean, I think I want to portray that confidence to my clients because I think it's really important. Like I'm giving them something that I feel like they should be really confident in, and I want them to trust in me. And a lot of the time with my like Instagram, I want people to form a relationship with me before they've even come into the studio. Like I want them to know me before they've even come in. So that's a huge thing for me. That's why I'm kind of on it with my.
Well, and you both of you, like in the permanent makeup and tattooing industries, you have to have a certain level of confidence just doing those jobs.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be your client coming in there and you being like a blubbering fucking mess and like shaking and like dropping tools and shit, right? Because I'm like, does this person know what the fuck they're doing?
Exactly.
Well,
that's going to
perfect.
be on me forever.
Yeah.
Perfect example of that was the client that I had in the other day, and she's going through removal right now because she went to a place who she said I should have known when she started crying just before she did my brows that I should have stepped away. And I was like, oh my God. She was like, yeah, she was having a really bad day. And rather than the artist saying, I'm sorry, I can't, like I'm having a bad day, she continued to do these brows and wrecked them. Big time. So then now I have that client that came to me to fix them, but I can't fix a really, really bad job. So she had to go and have them removed. And she's 5 sessions deep in removal now because the artist should have said no, but the client didn't trust her gut and just say, hey, this is not, maybe we should reschedule, you know? Like, so again,
I didn't hear that part. I get to hear some really cool shit, but I did not hear that part.
And that's it. There's been bad.
Trust the red flags. Like, trust your gut the minute you see that kind of shit. Because you had a client come in and her artist kept saying how hungover she was.
Yep.
And Lucy's had to do several treatments, like several removal treatments with her. And you guys have just since gotten into it. But you just, if your artist says that she's hungover, fucking run.
Right, but also like,
speaking of hungover,
I know. Cracks are third or second.
That's Lucy's empty. This is only my second.
This is
Hey.
Frig off, eh?
Hey, what's
Tram
mine
off,
is yours.
eh?
What's yours
Oh
is
my
mine. Take my empties, motherfucker.
What was I going to say about? Oh yeah. There's also like not wanting to hurt the artist's feelings too, right?
True.
Like, so like if I'm sitting down and you're start crying, I'd be like, I don't want to hurt her more and be like, I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah.
But I would be
Ooh,
like,
yeah.
do you need
That's
a minute?
how I would feel.
Yeah.
You would be like, nope,
No,
bitch,
I'd probably
you're not
sit up
touching
and
my
be
face.
like, do you need a minute? Like, you know, let's take a minute here because you're about to tattoo my
Well, you're
face.
smarter than we are.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well,
So whatever.
There you go. must be your age. Actually, can you believe I'm older than she is?
Can you
Like,
believe
would you look
that?
at us and
By
think,
how
well,
much?
would you look at us just based on looks? Who would you think is older?
I would
so
base
we
it on
can-
maturity, first of all.
I know. I can't believe I
Jenny
just
is
went
wearing
to
a
looks.
Britney Spears t-shirt as we speak right now. Britney
It's
in her
pink
youth
shirt.
day.
It is. You know what?
Yeah.
Brittany and I came out of the closet at the same time in a special way. So
You
I
did.
will forever love Brittany. She was one of my first crushes. Her
Yeah.
and Kelly Kapowski. But
I
that's
thought it
different
was
story.
Jessica Rabbit.
Oh yeah, I love a good redhead.
Yeah, she does.
Jessica
actually.
Rabbit had a thing.
You know, Lucy
Yeah.
and I, like for our first Halloween together, we were supposed to go as Roger and Jessica Rabbit. Yeah, and then the fucking Moosey, the clumsiest person you'll ever meet, went and broke both her feet
Wasn't
and ended
my
up in a
fault.
wheelchair.
Wasn't my fault.
Lucy.
Moosey, I call her Moosey Anderson because she's got hooves for fucking feet. I swear to God.
It wasn't my fault.
She falls, she trips, she drops shit. I can't lay next to her when she's got her phone in her hand because guaranteed I'll end up concussed or with some sort of
have
brand
a
new
pop
bruise.
socket on there now for that reason. Also, like
She takes me out. It's affected my life. You've
I
taken me
can't
down.
help it. It should be endearing to you.
Drop
now.
shit. Like when I have to move like furniture with her, I need to put on steel toes because it's guaranteed that something's gonna happen.
Lucy.
But she did.
Oh,
She
was
broke.
that the sour cream all over the floor the
It
other
wasn't
day?
me. It was mayo, and someone didn't put the lid on properly. That's why.
Check it. Just a quick.
Why would
You
I
shouldn't have to check,
check it?
But I
Very
wasn't okay. So
much.
in my defense, you know how much I love mayonnaise. That's my favorite
Too
condiment
much.
ever. Put it on everything.
Ew.
I love it so much.
Ew.
Hate ketchup, but I'll eat mayonnaise straight out of the jar.
Ugh.
Love it. But so I wasn't technically done with the mayonnaise yet.
we
so
were
I
done
just,
dinner. We were cleaning
Listen,
up dishes.
Listen,
Dinner was done.
Linda. Listen.
Who's
Honey.
Linda? Her mom?
Remember? Listen, Linda.
Oh, yeah, Linda.
Linda,
Yeah, okay,
honey.
Let's stop
honey.
right there. Carry on.
So can we not talk about Linda? There's somebody.
Finish the story.
I wasn't done with the mayonnaise. So
We were
I
done
didn't.
with dinner. Dinner was done.
Listen, if I want to double dip with my spoon into the mayonnaise jar when you're done, doesn't mean I'm done. So if I'm going to double dip, means I'm not going to screw the lid on tightly because there's a chance I might want to go back in. I don't want to waste this wrist action
Just so
on
you
screwing
all
on
know, it was
Yeah, our poor listeners have no fucking idea what the
happened
mayonnaise incident
was,
is.
you know, like the
Explain it.
extra large size mayo from Costco, like the biggest fucking bottle you can find, jar that you can find.
bottle.
She didn't put the cap on. So when I went to lift it to put it in the fridge where it belongs,
It's just fucking everywhere.
I lifted it from the lid. Said lid came off, and the bottom flew on the floor.
Yeah, it
and then
was
it went
everywhere.
everywhere. Oh,
And I
it was
looked at
so
her and I
bad.
went, oh, that looks like a you problem.
I was so mad. I was so mad.
She's like, who does that? Fucking idiot. Something like that.
I
anyway.
wasn't done with the mayo yet. Like next time, communication.
We were done.
Ask.
Dinner was done.
I sometimes like to dip,
You know what was more annoying was like I was leaving the house to go somewhere. I was on a time restraint. I had my shoes on. I was ready to go. I was picking up your shit. And then that's what happened.
It was your shit.
And I had to clean it.
Well, because you dropped it.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, let's move on. We don't need your domestic on my show.
Maury, or Jerry. It was
Jerry.
No, Maury is if you've got a baby
A baby
test.
daddy. Yeah.
This is more Jerry. We need to
Okay,
get Steve.
let's get back on track here.
What do you guys feel where do you feel you have an advantage being a creative in business?
Go on then.
I feel like, how do I answer this question?
Being a creative.
An advantage is like, I don't know, for me, I feel like trust in people, like them putting their trust in
Well,
me.
people
is
who
an
have no
advantage.
idea what
Yeah.
they want,
Yeah.
that's when it really comes in handy.
Yeah.
Because you're like, let me take the reins on this and let me just do what I do best.
And that's
And
just
that's
it. It's
when I
them
like
putting
it.
their trust in
Yeah.
me. Like when someone walks in and they're like, I just want you to do what you need to do. Like make me look good.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
then
do you ever
it's,
have the people who get the FOMO?
yeah.
Fear of missing out for people who aren't sure
I know what
what
that
FOMO
is. Oh,
but
fuck. I
some
get
people
FOMO all
don't.
the time. The minute somebody's like, we're going to the bar, and Lucy looks at me like, no, we're not. I go, oh, fuck, I got FOMO.
got the FOMO. Like I used to watch Say Yes to the Dress. I used to be like obsessed with
love
that show, marathon it.
Yeah.
Fuck
And
that
there's
shit.
that's who I'd be as a bride. I'd be like, oh, I love that dress, but I got to try them all on.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just to make an informed
Yeah,
decision.
and even then I'd be like, oh, there's probably a better one somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right? So
Right.
do you ever
Yeah.
get those clients?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
I just tactfully tell them what's going to look good and what's not going to look good. So like
Fair.
I'll have clients that don't know what they want, but they want to try on like 10 different brow shapes, right? In different styles. But the way that I do things is very specific. Like it's based on your face shape, your bone structure, where's your natural brow growing, like all that kind of stuff. Like there's so many factors that come into play that if somebody wants something that's way out of the realm, I'm just like, no, it's like not going to happen. But again, it comes back to it. I'll say there are other artists who will do that for you.
Wait, you don't do powder brows, or you do?
Yeah, I do,
Okay,
yeah.
because you said I should do that, and then I thought
Yeah.
just before you said no, I'll send someone away for a powder brow.
No.
I was like, that bitch.
yeah, she didn't want me.
No.
That was her passive aggressive way of saying get the fuck out.
Okay, I was
No,
wrong.
no.
Anyway,
She does a mean powder brow. Actually, you do.
I do a
Really,
good powder
I
brow.
prefer your powder brows over your
It's-
traditional microblading.
Yeah.
I never thought these words would come out of my mouth.
I don't even know
We're
what any of those
Well,
mean.
we'll look at
We'll
me
talk
like-
through.
I was thinking about you the other day, and I thought how cool it would be, because I would definitely have FOMO coming to see you.
Yeah.
And then I thought maybe she has some sort of like tech thing where you like put your face on a screen and then
No.
it shows you the different brows, and then I like number 7.
There
and
is
then
an
you can pick
Instagram
number
filter for that.
7. Oh, but do they match to your like exact
No.
mapping?
Style.
No.
Style.
So,
Yeah.
but, and what I like, once I've mapped them, that doesn't mean like that's it. Like we can
Right.
still tweak them. Like I have loads of different techniques to be able to use, but also what's your natural brow doing? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's
I'm not
important.
see, you talk with that brow. You know how much you raise that one?
Yeah, you're right. One's like mine. I gotta
Like
get
the Rock,
I
like
get
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
me too. I
Yes!
get Botox extra on my right side.
I cannot fix that. I cannot
I don't
fix
want
that.
you to. I love the Rock.
But just so you know, once I've done your eyebrows, it's going to become more prominent. So I haven't given you a brow that's an inch higher than
look
the
at
other.
that.
Oh, wow. That's
bastard
impressive.
just touches your fucking hairline.
That
man.
is a solid inch higher than the other one, just so you know.
I feel like a total.
But like when they're pronounced, when she goes in with the ink, it's going to look and that's also that's like a slippery
It's a
slope
slippery
right there.
slope.
Because do you suggest to somebody, hey, guess what? You actually need a little bit of Botox because the
So-
last thing you want to do is tell somebody they need to fucking.
No, my actual words are,
Right.
I can't correct what your brow muscle is doing. So when you're in a relaxed state, they are equal. But when you open your eye, sometimes what I'll do is I'll
walk around with
take
your fucking eyes
I
closed.
feel
dude.
so judged.
Sometimes what I do is I take a video because they
Try
don't
living with
see
her.
it.
Jesus Christ! Every single day, you're gonna wear that. You're gonna eat that. You're gonna hold your eyebrow like that. Just kidding.
What I'll do is, because some clients don't know that they're doing it, so I have them close their eyes and I take a video of them and then I say, can you open your eyes? And as soon as they open their eyes, one brow goes up. So then I
Oh my god, I'm doing it
Yeah,
every time now. I
she
can
shows
feel
you
it.
the
then I
video,
show
though.
them the video and I
says-
say, this is what you do, just so you know, like when I'm doing this, like I'm going to map your brows based on your relaxed state. But when you open your eyes and your brow muscle pulls, that's not something I can fix. The only way
Right.
to correct that is with Botox, if that's something that you had ever thought about. And then usually 9 times out of 10 people will be like, oh no, like tell me more. So then I refer them out to our Botox lady. And
If
I just
somebody
send
told me to
them
go
out.
get freaking Botox, though, a part of
but
me
if
would kind
someone-
of go like, "Fuck
Why
you."
do I need to correct
You
it?
go get
Someone-
fucking Botox. in your
People come
face,
in
in
and
your
they
mouth.
want perfection.
Yeah.
I can't give perfection in
Right.
terms of symmetry if your brow muscle is doing something opposite.
Right.
Right? So if you are coming in and you're like, I want the most symmetrical brows you can give me.
Ew.
I would be like, okay, one, that's unrealistic. But secondly, like that brow muscle, that one right there that I'm looking at,
If you could see
Can't
Lucy
help
looking
you.
at Sarah right
can't
now.
help you, okay?
I like my rock brow.
Well, that's
okay,
great, and most
but I
people
honestly
do.
didn't know that I did that.
Right.
Yeah.
But most people do. But now, so this is a conversation that we're already having. So when you come into my studio and I say to you, hey, The Rock, I cannot help that. So
If you smell
Hey.
Hey, Dwayne. Fucking Dwayne with the D.
Dwayne the Rock.
So that would just be something. It's setting the expectations. But no, I don't tell people to go and get Botox, but I will suggest it if
Let
I
them know
feel
it's an
like it's
option.
going to help.
Right.
And some people will say, actually, I know that I have that and I don't like it and I would love to have Botox. I send them for Botox and then come back to me because then the brows are at a level where I want to work with. Because Botox moves shit. Like, it moves stuff.
Does it then move the one, like in my case, would it move it down?
It
so
would
that it's
relax.
farther
It would
down
make it
in my
relax.
relaxed
You just
state?
look like quasi fucking moto all the time.
It would relax it so it's not quite
wrong
as
with that?
aggressive.
Is it that aggressive?
It's very aggressive. Look at it. I'll
Fucking
take a video
both.
for you in a
Fuck
minute.
you both.
Yeah.
Okay?
I love it because I get the same thing. And when she first did my brows, she was like, please stop walking around like that. Because
It was
it looks
really
like
bad.
I've given you, like right now, I can't even lift
It was
my
really
brows.
bad.
Like they just stay where they are because of the Botox.
I was
But-
like, I need you to not do that because like you're making my work look terrible right now.
yeah. I
Oh.
was,
When
I
she
was the
was-
face. I was the face of Beauty and the Blade.
When she was-
Right?
Sorry about
right?
that.
Yeah, shit.
But in the beginning, like when your eyes are closed and you're in a relaxed state, but like I'm not about to make that one an inch higher because then when you're relaxed,
compensate.
then that one, do you know what I mean? Just so we're all clear.
You know what? Okay, well, you know what? Let's talk more about.
No, let's get off the brow.
Let's get
topic
off.
and
Let's
answer
get
the
off Sarah's
questions.
brows because I feel bad.
They're
but
terrible,
why don't
but
we
that's
talk
okay.
more about the advantages of being creative in business, right? Like that's I think where you were going.
Yes.
With and like where that translates into creating reels.
Yeah.
Wearing what you want to work. Like we can be as creative as we want. Being self-employed. We don't have to answer to fucking anybody.
Apart from me.
I know, I do. I'm not. There's like 2 rules down at Lucy's studio. Like I'm there, and I've got my space. But the 2 rules are: I'm not allowed to wear my Crocs, and I'm
time
not,
no.
and no
Big time
pooping,
no.
pooping at the studio.
what? What if you have to go?
I go home
What?
because it does make sense.
Okay,
because
my bed.
her bed.
is right next to the bathroom. Like where my bed is situated is right next to the
So
bathroom.
people's heads are literally.
Okay,
I walk
but
out.
what if there is no client there at the time?
Oh no. We
it
check
depends
the
what time the client's coming in.
When are they?
Wow.
What is the ETA?
That was like in perfect sync.
It
Yeah.
was. We're in sync.
It's a thing
Bye,
that's had to be
bye.
addressed. So
you
she
can
has
get
a
that like spray that you spray before you poo.
Amanda and Randy from Elevation, little shout out to them.
Elevation Woodworks.
yeah.
Hey, proud
whoop.
sponsors.
They
Maybe.
the other week actually bought a nice bathroom spray, especially for Jenny to poop at the studio.
Like that you spray in the toilet first?
No, not
poopery,
poopery.
but after. So I do a combination. You got to do a combination.
I hate that we're talking about this right
Okay.
now, but
Anyway, we do have some freedom down at the studio being creatives in business in that we can wear what we want.
Right.
We did have some really fancy, nice shirts made up
Yes.
from Graphically Hip. Shout out to them.
we do wear them a lot actually.
I wear them all
I
the
see
time.
them in your guys' pictures all the time.
Yeah, I just keep
yeah.
forgetting to tag you
I-
in them.
Actually, yeah.
It's terrible.
Do better.
bad.
Do better. And music at the studio. We
Right,
can have whatever
and
we want.
that's
on.
something that we both share, right? When I come into your studio, you got that giant fucking Jesus
That's
TV
right.
on the wall
That's
that's,
right.
blaring music.
You know
and
what
it
I do,
Might not
though?
be my jam, but it's your jam.
Again,
It's your space.
I make stuff specific to my clients. So if I
Yeah,
have an
right. You played Adele when I came there.
Okay, I
was like,
turned
what
that
the
off,
fuck?
and I didn't make it for you. I usually
Oh,
for my
thanks.
clients, what
Thanks.
happens is what sometimes I'll do is
Some
I'll look
Paradise
at
by the
their
dashboard, right?
medical form and see what age they are, and then
Oh,
I'll
that's so
pick
smart.
music based on their age.
Yep.
or
Jesus
the
Christ, I had no
treatment.
idea you did that. I was
Yeah.
wondering why some days we listen to shittier music than
Well,
others. No offense to anybody born in the
Michael
70s.
Bolton today. Okay.
Sorry about that, Mom.
or depending on the
My mom loves
treatment.
Michael.
Oh.
So if it's more a relaxing treatment, then I'll put on different music.
Yeah,
But, like,
when you're doing like a dermaplaning or like a facial
Yeah.
or whatever. What do you put on when you do sugaring?
anything just to calm
Britney,
them down.
bitch.
Like,
Rock you like a hurricane. Just fucking grip it and rip it.
You know what though? I didn't know that I did this until you just said
with your
that.
eyebrow.
But when I know I'm doing my rock brow right
Look,
now.
it's taken off.
We need to film this.
Yeah.
This episode
Hey,
or
well,
this.
if only we knew a good
podcast.
photographer / videographer.
A videographer. Yeah. Did you do that?
I've been known to dabble, but
Okay, let's talk. When I know that a certain client is coming in, I'll play a certain band.
Yeah.
Especially like if I know they're a Tragically Hip
Yeah.
fan, because it fits, right? I'll throw the hip on.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's good. Like the amount of times I've had clients that say like, "Oh, I'm really enjoying the music in here" or whatever, and I'm like, "That's awesome," because like I've picked it for that client, right? So
Way to judge a book by its
Yeah.
cover too, though, Lucy.
You really freaking, I didn't know that you go so deep, man. I should listen to you more
like-
often. Like just when you talk. I know that you say shit.
when
but,
I
like,
go,
when
when
Love
I
is
have
Blind
these
is on-
experiences, I always think, what would I like if I went for a treatment? Like if I'm paying like top dollar for something, what would I like?
Right.
Like people are coming in for a luxury service.
Yeah.
I don't want to be playing something shit and give them like
That's
shitty.
why you give me shit when I put on Hanson.
It just
I love Hanson.
like there's just certain things that I'm like this is for you. My client is here for this,
Right.
and I'm going to give them what they want. So
Not like whenever I get a massage, it's like,
What would you prefer though? Like, what
like
do you
some
want?
rock music.
Is that what you
and
want when
don't
you're
fucking
getting-
talk to me,
Yeah.
please.
Oh yeah. When people
see,
talk,
and
yeah.
I'm really good with that. Like, and on my forms now, or it will be saying like, do you want a silent treatment? Like, do you want a no? Because some people do.
Do you want me to put my nose in the air and cross my arms and stomp my foot?
Do you want the silent treatment? God, I hope you don't give them the same
like
silent
that,
treatment
like-
you give me, because they're not going to hear from you for days.
Some people. What do you call it? Not.
I
you
know
what
exactly.
I mean.
Everyone knows what you mean.
But they.
Some better than others. but-
Maybe there's a better way to word it
Yeah.
because that's a pretty
Like,
culturally.
Yeah.
A quiet. Would you like a quiet treatment?
But some,
basically?
like a lot of hairdressers are doing that now. Like,
Because people sometimes just want to come in and not talk. Like sometimes when I go to the hairdresser, I just want to go in. I want you to like play with my scalp, cut my hair, color it, and I don't really want to talk. And that sounds bad, but like I spend my whole day usually talking to people.
Right.
So
Yeah, you
sometimes
really
when
do.
I go for a treatment, I want to zone out. So if I ever get that vibe from a client, like if they're not engaging or like they're just kind of not asking me questions back, then I
Right.
know that they just,
just
like
shut up and do your job.
and then they'll usually say, "Oh my god, this is so relaxing," or like you know. A lot of them are moms and they're like, this is just so nice. I've got a couple of hours away from my kids. And I'm like, they probably just want to chill. Like, and
I've heard
not
that a few
talk.
times now, working down at the studio. with
Yeah.
you.
And I do. Like, I'll play it by you. Like, if you're talking to me and you're asking questions, like, I know you want to chat, but if you don't, totally fine. Like, actually, for me, I prefer not to because
Yeah.
I get in the zone, I'm done, and I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
concentrate and I get the job done, like, quicker, actually. Like,
Yeah.
if we're not talking about
I
stuff.
prefer that
but-
too when I'm tattooing.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
prefer if people didn't actually talk that much to me. And the same thing, it's a physical thing too,
Yeah,
right? When
it
people
is.
start talking, it's amazing
Their
what they do
bodies
with their
move.
bodies. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Especially on your face as well. Like sometimes I'll have clients that want to have the it's really awful. If anyone is ever coming to see me and they don't do this, Sarah, please. When you're laying down and you're talking to someone, but you look back at them and someone, because I look at you upside down, right? And if all you're doing is staring at me, one, I feel really uncomfortable.
See, but that's the thing. I feel rude when I'm not making eye contact with somebody
No.
when I'm talking to them. So I feel like I'm that person. Even with my dental assistant, like when she's like my hygienist when she's cleaning my teeth, I feel like when she's talking to me, I
You
need to make
look at
eye
her?
contact. I do.
Why?
I don't know.
We were just talking about bad
Oh
people
my
who
God,
stare too
stop.
much.
I know, and I'm that person. For Christ's sake, I'm your worst fucking
I
client.
hate that. So I usually say to them, I usually get them to close their eyes because if they don't, when they're pulling up, they're pulling the brows up. So it's not giving me a true reflection of where they're going to sit, right? So I get them to close their eyes. And also the lights are really freaking bright. So like you want to stare up at them for 2 hours? Like sure, but you're not going to be able to see anything when you leave here.
That's
so
true.
like
Yeah,
there's a few things, but yeah, I'm just like, close your eyes, be quiet.
yeah.
I would also feel like super awkward if I'm at a salon or at your place and I check the box that says don't fucking talk to me, and then I'd be like, So, how's your day? Like, am I allowed to say that?
I know I checked the box that said I wanted the silent treatment, but like, can I just talk
Could
to
you
you for a
smack
little
me
bit?
in the face and make it feel a little more real? Like,
I've
what is
had people
this?
I've had people sleep on me though,
Yeah, me
and I've
too.
had to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
give
Yeah.
them a nudge because
Yeah.
they're a twitcher, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't need you to twitch right now.
Yeah,
and I've got
for
a blade
sure.
in your
No
face.
Twitch, I'm gonna
twitchers.
twitch harder. It's crazy though. Like you got to appreciate when people. I think that's awesome. It when people want a quiet session, when they want the silent treatment, because I didn't realize how much it takes out of you until I came down to the studio and
Yeah.
started working full time down there with you to
Yeah.
see how much socializing you really do.
Yeah.
And how
It's
much
tiring.
energy you put into
It
your
is.
clients every single day. Because Lucy used to come home and just be like, I just need a minute. I just need a minute. And I'd be like, well, we're going to meet this person for dinner, or we're going out for drinks with this person. And she would be like dreading it. Like not dreading it, but just like,
yeah.
okay, I guess I will if I have to. Like she wasn't looking forward to it like I was. And then I
Yeah.
would see on a day-to-day basis now how much small talk she does, where it's like I either want to have a real conversation or I just don't want to talk at all. And it's been a huge eye-opener since we started
Yeah.
working together all the time.
Well,
to
also
see
a lot
what
of
you
it
do.
is like most of my clients, especially brow clients, they're all new. I've never met them before. So they want to know how I ended up in Penticton. Like all this, it's the same story a lot of the time. And not that I don't love saying to it, but it's sometimes if I have like 2-3 new clients a day, that's the same story I'm telling multiple times daily. However many days of the week, right? Not that I
Yes.
don't want to tell people my story, but like it can get draining after
It's
a
interesting
while.
too to see how her story changes now that I'm down there, because sometimes you do tailor it to specific clients. And
Yeah.
this is a completely different topic that we could get into, but when you have to read whether or not they will be okay with you being gay,
Yeah.
and what kind
Right.
of like
right.
you know what I mean, like
we've
having
talked about that a
Yeah.
little.
yeah, and she's changed up her answers a few times when people
Oh,
ask if
God,
she's
that's
married.
soul crushing.
She'll
It's a
say
tough
she is, but she
one.
won't say whether it's to a woman or not, especially
Right.
if they're from the older generation.
Yeah,
that she
it's
just,
a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm better with it now.
Yeah.
Because also at the same time, like if you're not okay with it, I don't really want you as a client at the same time.
Absolutely.
So,
You
but
go
then,
girl.
Yep.
Go girl.
Girl
but
power.
that's a difficult one. It's a really difficult one. I've never had a client that's been uncomfortable with it ever, and I shouldn't assume that they would be
Right, but
uncomfortable
there
with
is
it.
a certain
There is.
Yeah. Yeah.
type of person
Yeah.
who you just have
Yeah.
to feel out.
Yeah, sometimes I really do. Like, and I don't, sometimes when they ask me questions about like how I ended up in Penticton, I'll just be like, oh, I just met some people that I knew. Like, you know, I won't go into it unless they pry.
How did you
know?
end up in Penticton?
shut
Do you
up,
want to
Jenny.
tell
Let's
our
get
listeners?
back to the podcast.
Like
Ask me
seriously though,
another
like,
question.
like how absolutely soul crushing is that for both of you?
Yeah. It's a
It's
really
harder. I
have
think
to
it's
give
harder
that
for
kind of
Lucy because I'm
answer.
technically 100-footer, so people can tell from 100 feet away that I'm gay.
Okay,
Just
but,
by looking at me. But you look at
being-
Lucy.
You being her partner and her having to not disclose anything about you.
Yeah.
That must hurt on some level for you too, right? Like no.
I don't know. I guess I'm just
No, you're just like fuck whatever,
fuck
say what you want.
whatever. Yeah, I
But
don't take
now
offense
she's at
to
the
it.
studio
that's
with
good.
me, I don't hesitate. I just say like, "Oh, my fiance, like Jenny over there." I'll
Yeah,
usually
I've done
say
that more
like
too now.
she's there, right?
Yeah.
So they don't have an opportunity to be like, "Oh, do you know what I mean?" Like,
Yeah, yeah.
But I've never had that from a client. But I always feel, and it's so silly because we've been together so long, and like you know, I'm out, I'm proud, like I don't really care, but
You're
like
proud?
I don't, don't really.
Of being out, not
Yeah,
of you.
not-
let's be
right,
clear.
yeah. Not of you.
No, let's not get things fucking twisted here.
I'm so kidding. Oh my god.
hey,
I did not mean
no,
that.
No, hey, I'm right on board with you.
But you shouldn't. But I do, and I'm better with it now.
You are really good with it.
Anyway.
You're better at being out than I am at being out. Like when it comes to like hand holding and stuff and like PDA,
Yeah.
I still worry about like
I like you
getting-
to claim it.
Well, I go back to I've been out a lot longer than you have, so I have some like leftover trauma of being like hate crimed
Right.
before,
Right.
and now it's just it's
Right.
still hard. It's still hard.
Do the two of you find that being a creative allows you to
Check in next week for the continuation of this episode. Till then, stay hip.